Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
We're here to call the Community Development Meeting to order. Our invocation will be done tonight by Ms. Paula Jones.
Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this gathering this evening. Help us to make the best decisions as to the betterment of the city of Jacksonville. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I would like to have the adoption of the minutes. Somebody make a motion? The adoption of the agenda, I'm sorry. Take that back, not the minutes. Approval of adoption of the agenda.
I make a motion that the agenda be adopted.
I second.
It has been moved and properly second. All approved, say yes. All same sign.
Aye.
It has been moved and properly second that we adopt the agenda. Approval of the minutes for January the 5th, 2017. Could I have an approval, please?
I move that we accept the minutes from our January 5th meeting, 2017, with any necessary corrections.
Second.
Second?
Yes.
Oh, okay, you second. It has been moved and properly second that the minutes have been accepted and has been approved and second. All same sign?
Aye.
It has been moved and properly second that we approve the minutes. Okay, on our agenda, we had Steve Forney, but for our member for the planning board update. But as far as it's concerned, I have a message for you. We can only submit one nomination for that position. Steve Forney is is moving forward to the city council for assignment. So his name has been put in for that, for the member for that. But the city said it can only be one member. We couldn't have a shadow member, so we have to wait and see if they accept him, okay? On that now. Advisory committee dinner. I think everyone has an invitation in front of them. And did you have a chance to read it?
Absolutely.
Okay, you did?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you want to sign it and leave it here tonight with Lily, you can. If not, like Tracy said, you can mail it back close to the date and time to find out if you want to come to the dinner.
And it's April 25th.
It's on the 25th, on a Tuesday. Moving right along, we're going to do the project update. Ms. Tracy Jackson.
Good evening, everyone. Wanted to tell you, give you a report about our preparation of the annual action plan, our fiscal year 17-18. The purpose of that action plan is to give action to our 5-year plan. We're going to have activities, outcome, and we have to have a budget assigned to those activities. Of course, our 3 national objectives from HUD, to assist low to moderate income people, to eliminate slum and blight, and address urgent needs within our community. HUD also have 3 goals. Of course, we have to address housing needs, suitable living environments, and economic opportunities. HUD also requires us to have citizen participation in our communities. So far, we have had a community input meeting at the Jack Amiette Recreation Center on January the 12th. We also had 2 neighborhood meetings that we participated in, and we had a funded opportunity workshops. We had 2 of those in the beginning of February. And now we're going to be going into our review committee meeting during March the 13th and the 14th. And I'll be commenting on that later. We're also going to be going into our 30-day public comment that's going to start April the 18th. And then we're going to have a public hearing at our city council meeting.
And just one correction, the public comment period will start March the 18th and run through April 18th. And you also have a copy of the draft plan that will be made available on April 18th, but you're getting to see it a little early. So you also have an opportunity to review it and provide any comments and feedback back to staff.
Of course, our funding trends show historically that funding has decreased. In the last 6 years, we have had a decrease in our funding. The last year that we received HUD funds, we received about $343,000. And our funding for fiscal year 17-18 has not been announced yet. So last year we had our CDBG allocation, $343,000, program income of approximately $177,000 for a total of $520,000 that we had to operate our programs with. And of course, with our priorities, the needs always outweigh our resources. So that's historically, the case. We need to do more with less, but we try to do the best that we can. So our proposed activities include administration, clearance and demolition, nonprofit funding, residential rehabilitation, acquisition, and this year we're going to start a summer youth employment program. That's good. And our target areas include downtown areas, New River, and livable neighborhoods. And that's all I have as far as the action plan. So please make sure that you all submit any comments, go over the plan and submit those comments to us.
One question I'd like to ask you on that livable neighborhood, that include for the citizen would be?
The two neighborhoods that were have been approved were Bayshore Estates and Belfort Homes.
Oh,
and
okay.
I've mentioned, I'll go ahead and talk about it now because that's
Okay.
coming up on the agenda. We're going to be going out, our citywide team, internal team from representatives from the different departments will be going on a tour on Thursday, March the 9th, where we'll be looking at different neighborhood conditions and getting some collective input about where the next neighborhood effort should be put, where we should put our resources in helping to organize a neighborhood. And it may be that it's a neighborhood that already has an organization. It may be that we have to help organize a neighborhood. As you know, in our pilot programs with Bayshore Estates and Belfort, we did both. We went into Belfort Homes, which already had a neighborhood association, and we went into Bayshore Estates, which did not, and we helped them organize. And so that's what we're going to be doing on Thursday, is to look around the city and see where the greatest need is, and then bring back those recommendations, present those to Richard, and then they'll go to City Council for approval, and then we'll officially recognize those neighborhoods. That's the process.
And I said before, but I certainly would repeat it, that I live in Bayshore State, so we were one of the first two pilots. And I would recommend to any community that if you get approached, taking them up on it, because we have really had this street paving, all kinds of things have been happening, that since we participated in that. And we're going on, we've created a website and communicating with the neighbors, and part of our issue down here downtown, and we have so many elderly people who live, especially women who live alone, and trying to do something, about that. So I would highly recommend to anybody who's watching or here that if you are approached to get involved in this, take them up on it, because it is a great opportunity for your neighborhood.
And Marcia didn't mention this, but another thing they did that I thought was great, in addition to doing the website, they also participate in Nextdoor, which is a Facebook type app where you communicate with your neighbors. Nobody else can really see what's going on, and they can share information. They also created a newsletter, which I thought was really nice. So they have their own newsletter, and they recognize their neighbors internally, yard of the month and things like that, to recognize those that are improving their property. So that it's really spun off into a great thing. They've already had their first picnic in the park. This effort to get to know their neighbors even better.
And a very nice holiday activity.
And holiday activities. So they're really, I think, taking it and moving it along in the way that the city intended it to move and work. So
And because we have young people who are renting too, a lot of times renters don't really get involved because they figure that's not my property.
Right.
They're keeping it up, but they're not really feeling like they're engaged or a part of. So a number of the people who come to the meetings are renters. And they're not going to be there that long. Some have got people deployed and so on. But they just come because they know, there's somebody around who is looking out for them. If you got young children or if you're older, whatever it is, So every neighborhood is different in what they need to have. But whatever it has, going back to the old system of looking out for each other is always a good thing.
That caring community concept you guys are going to be hearing a whole lot more about. That's what we're striving for. So thank you.
So really what you're saying is with your program, the other neighborhoods can sort of like piggyback on some of the things that you're doing.
Yes.
Because a lot of them with the new neighborhoods, they don't know how to start or where to start.
That's true. And this is an old neighborhood in the sense
Yeah.
that it's the oldest part of Jacksonville. So we had a range of ages from 70s, 80s, all the way down to, you know, young, very young people with brand new babies, you know, everything in between. But you're right, you will have neighborhoods that are new developments, and they don't have any history here on any level. People just bought into the neighborhood. But wherever you are, you know, if you live in some place, you just make your life where you live, where you are at
That's
that moment. That's the whole point, you know, and whether you're there for 2 weeks or 2 years or
2 days.
20 years, you know, you should, if you're gonna live in a place, you just need to, you know, do the best you can do. Look out for each other, you know, and, because you never can tell when you need to, you know, look out and see who's been driving around and what's going on, and keep an eye out, and somebody keep an eye out for you, you know, if you happen to be gone, you know, just little things like that really make a difference in a
It's a
neighborhood.
big difference.
So when you're looking for a neighborhood to make a livable neighborhood, what would be some of the criteria? that
Well,
you're looking
we're
for?
really focused on older neighborhoods, so we're kind of looking at the oldest neighborhoods, those that have some poor housing conditions or in need of assistance with their housing. Their infrastructure is in need of repair. They may have high crime. And we're also looking at neighborhoods from the perspective, do they have a majority homeownership initially? Because we know statistically that homeowners will come out to meetings and engage and organize a lot easier than the renter populations. And we're looking for interest, that we can get neighborhood groups, and this is voluntary. So we meet, we present it. If we get enough, it's a certain percentage. Once we identify the area, we look for a certain percentage. We don't have it written in stone, but a good chunk of the neighbors need to be willing to come to meetings and be actively engaged. So those are some things that we look at.
And we did start out low. It wasn't like it was gangbusters from the beginning. You know, you had a few people who came out, and then each meeting more and more and more
They'd
people.
invite somebody.
And then when you saw people on the street, you just say, you know, oh, well, you live in the house, come on down to the neighborhood meeting, you know, and so it has grown over time.
And there's an official application, and once we get them in and organized and go over the program, they fill out an application to officially apply to be a recognized neighborhood, and we take that to city council, and they're officially recognized at a city council meeting.
We've heard a lot about Bayshore, but what's been going on with Belfort Homes?
Belfork is a little unique because they are so organized already that they don't need us as much. We go and present to them. They don't meet as often either. That's another thing. They meet quarterly, whereas this group meets monthly. So our engagement levels are totally different, and the needs are totally different in each neighborhood. So we respond to things that they need us to respond to as needed. Yes.
Can we go back to the summer program?
Yes.
What are the parameters on the summer program? Age, grade type? You know?
Well, it's a concept that we just discovered thanks to Carmela George out doing some research and found one of our other cities that's doing this. It's teenagers, high school age students that obviously got to be old enough to work and get a work
I
permit.
think it's like 14 to 18,
18,
years
yeah,
of
high school,
age,
yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
Those are the target populations for the youth. We're looking at other pilot programs such as the town of Cary and also the city of Durham. They have summer youth programs. So we're in the infant stages
Yes.
of developing
Just
it.
putting the money in the budget.
But at least we have our resources allocated.
'Cause
That's
yeah,
excellent.
it still has to be designed as far as working with human resources, getting the application and all of that, things that we would have to do. And we have a lot of that stuff in place. It's just making it, tweaking it for what we're going to do with
We're
this program.
excited.
It's going to be initially income-based because we are using
CDBG
federal funds. So we're going to target
Gotcha.
kids from lower income households.
You
So.
just answered my question.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
I was going to ask that question.
Yes.
So, all right. And obviously there's a number.
Yes, initially, I think our goal is to get 5. We haven't even finalized what the hourly rate is going to be and any of that stuff. So as we work out the details, we'll know exactly how many we can. It'll run for 8 weeks,
Yes.
and we'll know how many kids we can actually accommodate. And it'll be a mentoring component, some coaching and things in that nature.
And we have an opportunity to use internal stakeholders as well as external
External.
stakeholders.
which means we could place them with our own departments, or we might partner and place them with a nonprofit that we partner with already.
Good.
That's a good idea.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ms. Tracy, did you finish your project update?
Yes, let's go back to project
Oh, I'm
update.
sorry.
I just wanted to report that we have 2 rehabs in process. One of them has some title issues, and the other one we need to get the nuts and bolts down with our cost estimation. And we also finalizing the construction of 105 Newberry Street. The builder anticipate that house will be finished March the 15th. So we'll be closing soon after that. And the homeowner, she is so excited. We met with her. Yeah, we met with her, and she's been picking out her materials, and she is just so excited. She carries a box of tissue with her, so she wanted me to let you all know, everyone know that she is so forever grateful for this opportunity for, be able to purchase a home. I also wanted to let you all know in that area, also 121 Poplar Street, we're starting the demolition process for that. So that was the last dilapidated building, I think, in that area. So we're starting that process as well. The next home buyer education course is going to be held March 18th from 8 to 5, City Hall here. And interested citizens should call us and register. The cost of the class is $10. And I do encourage people to register quickly. I will say with this, anyone watching, that I have about 25 people signed up for this class, and I usually have 15. So we're full. So the next class is going to be scheduled for May 20th. That they can sign up, and I do encourage them to sign up very quickly because spaces fill up very fast. And the only reason that I'm accommodating these is that we have some homeowners out there that really need to have this class because they're trying to close with some programs. So
May 20th?
May 20th. I also wanted to announce we had a very successful money management seminar that was sponsored by the City of Jacksonville, Abundant Life of Community Outreach, and Rachel Galls of Personal Financial Change. It was held February the 18th, and we had about 17 people that participated in that class. So it was a very successful class, and everyone gave rave reviews. I encourage anyone to sign up for the next one. It's going to be held here April 22nd. On a Saturday from 8 to 12, and the cost of that seminar is free.
8 to 12.
8 to 12.
Did you say free?
It is free.
Okay, I'll put that so that
That's another one I certainly highly
citizens can
recommend.
hear me free.
I went through the one she did back in the fall
Yeah,
of
in
last
November.
year, and I'm telling you, and her style of presentation is just so clear, is the best way I can put it. It's just crystal clear. If you've ever had a finance workshop, you know how they can be. And she really has a nice style of presenting and getting you involved in what she's talking about. So that's another one I recommend.
Very good. So if anyone interested in attending any of our seminars or our home buyer education course, you can call 910-938-5286.
910.
938-5286.
And what time is the course on the 18th, the homeowners buyers course?
It's going to be from 8 to 5. It's on a Saturday. It's an all-inclusive course. And I think last month I sent flyers to you all about the yearly schedule, the annual schedule. So please pass the word out.
We've already done that, so I'll skip past.
Lily
All right.
Gray, do you have anything else on our livable neighborhoods? Anything else for us?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, consideration for the next council meeting, fall council. Anyone have anything to be put on the agenda? Items for the city council? Anyone? We're just waiting for the other, to hear from the other one we had, the project. Okay,
You know what, I remember mentioning in one of our meetings, I'm not sure which one it was, about the coverings for the bus stops. And Country Club Road out by Walgreens, the country, you know what I'm talking about, across from Sandy Run. There's a place there, and I'm still seeing people
I know
standing
exactly.
there,
That's
and
the
there's
one we got
no, on the other side of the street, there's no, shelter.
Is it by the bio? It used to be the bio.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and I can tell you,
Is there gonna be anything?
I can't tell you that specific location, but I can tell you in general. Some of the challenges we've had with, because we put in 10 shelters last year, and some of the challenges was, some of the bus shelters are located in DOT right-of-way. You also needed to have enough space to expand that pad to cover it up.
Okay.
But I don't know if that particular location was an issue as far as ability to put it in the space that's needed, but I will check with our transportation staff.
And the one across the street as well from there.
On both sides?
yes,
The Sandy
'cause-
Run side and the Plasma side?
Because I
Okay.
know there are
There's a lot
stops
of them
on
don't
either
have
side.
covers.
Yeah.
But those are housing areas where people
they
may
need
live and don't have, you know, their
That's
own
true.
transportation, and so I would think that there,
I will
there's reason there's.
I will check on the reason for that and see.
Could you check some of the other locations too? I know you said that Henderson Extension, that's part of DOT, right?
Yes. Henderson is a DOT street.
Yeah, but there's some of the other ones. Where did I see that
Thompson,
other
up here
one?
by
Oh, you just
Thompson
put
School,
one
too, is
over
one.
by,
We put them, and I will tell you this, because we were using CDBG funds,
okay.
we only could put them in certain areas. It had to be areas that serve low and moderate income populations. We can't pay for them citywide. So this would be a transportation budget issue, but I can present it to them.
Okay, because I noticed they just added a new line.
They did, yes, ma'am.
And the other bus stop is right over by First Baptist, right at that corner by, what's the Department of Education. And it's in a bad
Board of
spot
Ed.
because if the bus stop on that little bitty road, there's no place for the person to stand. I saw the sign standing there, and when I turned the corner, the sign is right there.
On Broadhurst Road or Georgetown Road? The
It's
new
right
line?
at the corner, And it's in a bad spot because they have to stop as the people are coming out from the Department of Education. And the bus stop that nobody else can pass on that street. And you know, that's a busy street with the armory there and the National Guard Armory and all of that. So it's gonna be, it's not
on the
bad.
Board
You
of
could
Ed
even
side of
ask
the
the
road?
church to put it, I mean, if they want to.
Is it on the
Put it
side
on
of
our
the
property.
churches, or
It's
on
right,
the other
it's right,
side?
it's on, no, it's not on our, it's right where the church is. Right up from where we turn into the church. You'll see it, just standing there, I saw it the other day.
Yeah, I could
Cause I
go.
said, when I turned the corner, I said, a bus stop.
And
And
it
I'm
just
saying-
went live yesterday officially.
But if you got a couple of people, that's a dangerous place for them to stand with children or whatever. And there is a lot of people in that, what's that, apartment complex down there? You
Beecham
know, right
Apartments.
behind where they get the license and the
Beecham
Beecham
Apartments.
Apartments. And coming from the other area from where you used to be. You know what I'm talking about, dog pound and all that stuff. It's in a bad spot. I don't know why they weren't thinking. They could have moved it further down or further up, anyway, somewhere.
Okay. I
But
will
they
let
need to
them
check
know.
on that for somebody to get hurt. Other than that, is there any questions or comments we have?
I just wanted to mention something when you talked about summer youth employment. For those of you all who are listening or anybody else, we got an announcement that they did this last year, at least last year, and they've increased the numbers again this year. But there is an initiative by under the new governor's office, and it happened last year. So I mean, this is a state initiative to provide employment for young people.
Okay.
They must be attending an HBCU, a historically black college or university. They have to be currently enrolled at an HBCU. There are slots for, I believe, 100 students. And this is going to be summer employment with Fortune 250 companies. In other words, they want these kids to get jobs where they get some serious experience that can really look good on a resume. Not that any employment is not good, but you know, when you got a college student, you need to have something going where, you know, if you're going into engineering, maybe a company like that, or banking, you know, because we are the banking capital now of the country in Charlotte. And as far as I understand, the jobs will be $10 an hour for a 40-hour, full-time 40-hour work week, 10 weeks of work. And the students should go to their, every campus has someone who deals with career enhancement or employment, wherever that is.
Okay.
So they differ depending upon which school you go to. I think we have 10 HBCUs in this state.
Yeah, we
And
do.
so those of you who are listening, or anybody around here, you got some kids and you know they're on campus, they didn't say anything about the year, just that they have to be currently enrolled in an HBCU. And this is a particular initiative for those kids. And they should go to their campus admin, wherever, and ask for, I guess if they just said something about HBCU youth employment program, they would get. And I don't know anything else about it in terms of what you need to be doing or which grades need to be, any of that. All I know is that, and this is obviously in a hurry because this is March we're in now. Kids will be out of school in May, early in May, because Mother's Day is always the
Graduation
commencement for most of the schools. So they should, if you know somebody, get them to go on over there like next week and talk to someone about doing
Where
this.
do they go to speak to someone? To campus,
Each campus has someone who handles getting employment
school you go to.
for to the school. In other words, on the campus you're at, you go there to ask.
Usually a career development.
Career development, I
Okay,
think that's what
career
it's called.
development,
Career
yeah.
development. They have different names for them, but they all essentially are
They're all
about
the
career
same,
development.
fine.
And I've already talked to a couple of people who heard about it and said they hurried up and called their kids like right then and told them, because you can imagine, we have lots of kids in the state and 100 spots won't go very far, but it's a good, way for a child to get a little bit above minimum wage, full week of employment. Now, there's no benefits tied to the money itself, but they place the money at particular
Companies.
work sites. And because the message I was reading was written as if I were an employer at a place that had done this last year. And they were saying, we want you not only to do it again, but colleagues that you might have, let them know. Because evidently they have broken off enough funding to serve this, but, it might be the issue of trying to find slots for the kids,
Right.
So, but, in the state we're in, I think it would be a great opportunity for young people, particularly in certain kinds of areas. So encourage young people to attend, and I'm not attend, but to go over there and talk to somebody and find out what's going on. Because most kids at this point are looking for a summer job. They need to be, if they aren't already, looking for a summer job in between school years,
Okay.
good
Okay,
information.
Anything else before we have our next meeting? Questions, comments? Okay, our next meeting, Thursday, May the 4th, 2017, at 6 p.m. And all of our other meetings are on the board for you, if you need to jot them down. And may I have a
Make a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn if there's nothing else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
The meeting is now adjourned.